Hello, 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 hello. This is your girl Yo Yo, and you are watching Let's Go with Yo Yo. It is Tuesday, November 9th, 2021. I pray you all had a wonderful, wonderful week last week, a great weekend, and all that good stuff. Brittany, Kim, keep you down some.
Okay.
So first things first, the young lady on the screen, and I'm sorry you're not able to see her, is Brittany.
They can't see me?
Not on Instagram.
Oh.
Hopefully y'all be able to hear her because we are up loud. So you can hear her comments and stuff. But let's get to it. First thing, please like and share my YouTube page at Let's Grow with Yo Yo, my Facebook page at Let's Go with Yo Yo. IG is Yo Yo 7393001. If you don't cut that TV down,
it is down. It's literally on 5.
Then everybody go shop at iCandy by B.
iCandy Love.
iCandy Love, LOVEE by B.com. iCandyLove, LOVEE.com for all your lashes. These are lashes right here. I think these are ooh la las. The game is not these this time. Purses, shades, head what are things on? Headbands, all that necessary that women like to do, shop and all that good stuff. So it's iCandyLoveByB.com. And not only that, check out my girl Danny Direct on Instagram, YouTube, and Facebook. So all that we got out the way. Please like and share. Now we're going to go to our Did You Know in Black History. Woo! I know we all have cars. We all rode in trains if you were younger, especially if you live in the city. Buses and everything. Have you ever wanted to know who made the oil drip pan? Well, I got you covered.
The what?
The oil, the drip pan for the oil. His name was Elijah McCoy. Yep, they called him the real McCoy because people tried to copy his oil drip pan, but it never worked like his. So they called him the real McCoy, and he got that patent. And
oil drip pan?
Yes, for your car.
Oh, okay.
You hear me say, y'all?
I thought you were saying like the oil when you.
No, the drip pan for the cars. Yes,
somebody actually made
it. Actually, 57 patents as of today. He died in 1929. That is your Did You Know in Black History. Well, tonight, we have a special guest, which is Miss Brittany Nicole Fox, who is going to be talking with me tonight because I wanted to get Brittany, put it on mute because it's still loud. Or pause it. I wanted to get a millennial perspective on things that's going on in the country. I asked my other niece, my goddaughter, but she had to work tonight, so she wasn't able to get on. So we're gonna go ahead on and go with Brittany today. Before we get started, Brittany, tell us a little bit about yourself for the ones that don't know you.
My name is Brittany, and I'm her daughter. I own iCandy Love by B. That's about it.
She's 27, about to be 28. Y'all excuse me, but I'm having a hot flash, and nobody wants to cut the air on in my house, so I'm eating ice cream. icy because I'm extremely what you call it, hot, and nobody wants me to take that off. So here we go. First things first, the infrastructure bill that was passed last week was a 228 vote, 206 vote, and 13 Republicans crossed over the line and got this infrastructure bill passed. This is one of the largest bills since it's been about 50 years since this bill like this has been passed. And even though I'm grateful for it, it's for the roads, the bridges, airports, uh, um, sidewalks, street lights in some places that need them, things like that. So the infrastructure bill was really good. However, the part was what was called the human infrastructure bill was not passed. This is where I wanted to bring a millennial up and talk to. Why is Basha calling me? And talk to.
I'm laughing at this dog.
Oh,
Your phone started ringing. She popped up so quick.
In that human infrastructure bill was for the Family Medical Leave Act, which is paid leave for families like FMLA.
She calling me now.
That the HBCUs, Medicaid, that would help elderly people give more into Medicaid and into things that would help us as a country. Help us, because I wanted to ask my daughter, can you unmute yourself? No, you're muted. I wanted to ask.
It was your goddaughter.
What's she want?
She needs you tomorrow.
Anyway, what was I saying? Oh, I wanted to ask you. You have FMLA, correct? And I know.
My challenged mother on this live.
But with the Family Medical Leave Act that they were trying to pass was that you would get paid leave for those days you need to take off. How do you think this will affect your generation coming? Because at one point, I don't think we never had paid FMLA.
My FMLA isn't paid, so I honestly, them not paying, I already wasn't getting paid for it. So,
but don't you think? I'm sorry, y'all. Again, I'm having a hot flash. Don't you think that it would benefit y'all to have paid leave if you have to take off? Let's say, like my surgery, whenever they plan it, and you have to take off to take care of your mother. You need an income coming in, correct?
Correct.
So how do you think that will affect your
generation? I mean, that will affect me because, I mean, that will affect me definitely when that time does come. I mean, luckily, I can miss, one or two. Sorry, guys. I can miss 1 or 2 days, and I have my granddad. I could at least we don't live far. Like, I can miss 1 or 2 days. I can go to work and.
Well, you do work from home.
And I work from home. Yeah, I work from home. So when that time comes, I figured, I could figure out the situation of working at your house. Lord.
How do you think it would affect the people like in your generation? Why is she?
She's just trying to get closer and closer.
Like
I could say,
let's say you got, you have a baby and you have to use, you don't have no vacation time, and you use FMLA probably for, because I don't know how many days, because we got 120 hours a year.
So like with my FMLA, as you know, we got to renew it soon. Gotta get your paperwork. But mine is 6 months, and I think it's 480 hours a year or something like that. Which that is
I don't think it's 480 hours.
I think it's 480 hours a year. Now that we're sitting here talking about it, now I'm like, I need to figure that out. But it's like 400, it's 480 hours or something like that. It's up there. The hours of how many hours I can miss is up there. Like I said, I'm not getting paid for it now. I don't know if it's just my job. I don't know if some other jobs do get paid for
No,
extended leave.
you don't get. You have to use your vacation time first, and after your vacation time, you use your FMLA. But this is where the disconnect will come in, is because that part of the bill would have helped a lot of Americans, especially the ones that live paycheck to paycheck. The ones that
I fall in that paycheck to paycheck,
which you shouldn't.
I mean, I technically do what I make. I fall in that.
You shouldn't. But because like you don't have a dependent. Anyway, we should. I mean, because if you have somebody, let's say somebody gets sick, COVID, God forbid COVID happen, right? Mm-hmm. They come out with COVID. They wind up in the hospital, and they had already used some of the FMLA. No, they haven't. They used up all their vacation time, and they are in a hospital. God forbid they're in the hospital, right? That time, that FMLA that they can use, could have been paid toward that. They could have got a paycheck. They could have done something to help them cover their bills.
I feel like we should get paid for it. Because I mean, in my thought process, people don't ask to be sick to the point they can't work, or I mean, people's kids, in my instance, you're my mother. You don't have, I mean, you have my granddad, my sister, but Jarrell has her issues. Granddad has his issues. So it's not like I can really put everything on them of, I have to work. I need you guys to do this. So in instance, I can miss with not get paid, but then because I don't have dependents, so it's like if I miss and don't get paid on a couple of days, my bills will get paid. I won't be taken away from anybody else but my dogs, but they, you know what I'm saying? But I won't be taken away from anybody but me in that instance. But if I think of, if I did have a child and having to take off, like with, fortunately, my aunt will come down here to help with your surgery. But let's say if we didn't have, some people don't have family that can at least help a little bit. And just for instance, your surgery is going to be, you may be sitting down for a little while. So some people don't. I feel like not getting paid puts a lot of people in, not even people that work live paycheck to paycheck, or not even people in my tax bracket or your tax bracket, but anybody that can put somebody in a really hard bind. Because there's some people that are out due to family members, or even, what is it, LOA? I don't know if you get paid on LOA. I've never had to take
LOA.
Whereas like if it was me, I guess there's a difference where if it's me, leave of absence, and then there's like FMLA is for family. LOA,
FMLA for you too. FMLA is a family.
I can, but it's not. No, for my job, the paperwork they ask who is it for. It's not.
Oh.
So that's what it's family medical leave.
Yeah, but FMLA, because I had FMLA.
I can call and say I'm using my FMLA and it be for me, but when you fill out that paperwork, they're asking for what family member is it for. That's why your doctor has to fill it out. That's why, you know what I'm saying? I know there's a LOA at my job that would be for me, but I don't know how that if you get paid on that or not, because I've never. But just for instance, like maternity leave. Mm-hmm. I know some of my coworkers, they literally paid them up until I believe 6 weeks, but some of them had to be out longer due to health issues, and then they tapped into their PTO for them to get paid. It was either that or they had to do unemployment because they weren't getting paid for those days. They didn't lose their job, but situations like that can put not just, I feel like, my generation, anybody in.
Well, correct, but think about bills and laws that are being passed. It doesn't happen like today. Federal, it's going to take a while for everybody to kick in, and it will affect your generation more because people around my age be retiring soon. I ain't that old, y'all, but I do. I have a retirement under me, so we have a retirement coming up that we're not going to be working longer. Y'all will be in the generation after y'all, which is Jarrell's generation.
But I feel like in that instance, COVID was a blessing and a curse.
Why you say that?
For my generation. Mm-hmm. I already know millennials, and we as millennials talk about this all the time on social media, that your generation will call us lazy or whatever the case may be, because
we don't call what we call y'all is y'all have like, when it comes to technical and y'all are go-getters in a certain aspect of y'all don't take no for an answer, but y'all sleep till noon.
But see, just because this with that, it doesn't make a difference if we sleep till noon, because some of us in my generation can sleep till noon and still make money. Some of us can, but and a lot of millennials that I know in my generation, we have this conversation because we have parents. You retired from the military to turn around and go back to work. My dad retired from the military to turn around and go back to work. But in the aim, I know for you, part of you probably hated the military, but you did it for benefits and putting your family in. My generation, we're not gonna we can think of benefits and all that, but we're not gonna stay at a job that mentally we hate for 20 plus years because we're trying to make sure our family, it can be a blessing and a curse.
Wow, you know what I mean? We do stuff because
you guys do it for us. I can say, and this is off of research that and just seeing it for myself, being one of them, COVID in a way made me realize for my generation, a lot of my generation, COVID brought out a lot of entrepreneurs.
They did.
In my generation.
They have.
And it also made us realize in situations like FMLA, LOA, COVID, companies they have the funds, but they aren't going to use the funds. They don't have
absolutely correct, young lady.
They are going to, so even if a law, let's say a law was passed that FMLA could get paid, in some way, these companies are going to put it to where you can't. They're gonna maneuver it around of a way to where they don't pay you either as much. They don't pay you the whole. They're gonna because it's all benefit of the company. Not saying it's a bad thing. It's their company.
Well, if they are paid by federal taxes to pay FMLA, they have to pay you like your salary. You know what I'm saying?
But I'm saying it's a lot of our in that instance of like I said, FMLA. I don't get paid for it now. Yes, I wish I could. Cause I mean I'm thinking about now, like, okay,
sorry, y'all, I'm having a hot flash.
You're gonna be down for a while. Luckily, I work from home, so I can probably unplug my computer, bring it to your house. But if we were still in the office, I couldn't do that. So then I would have to think of probably stressing myself out because I know my grandfather doesn't answer his phone like I need him to. So I'm gonna be at work worried about if you taking your medication. You don't sit still unless somebody is standing over you telling you to sit still. So then I'm gonna, I gotta make sure I'm calling you. You know what I'm saying? So I now don't have to worry about certain parts of it. But when I think like, okay, your surgery is coming up. By the time your surgery probably does come up, for my job, we're gonna be in our busy season. So the days I miss in the same instance, I can make up doing overtime. So, to make, and some people have to do that. Some people have to. In the same instance, like some days where I have had to take off with you being in the hospital, you being sick.
Mm-hmm.
I honestly just, okay, I had to take off these days. Let me just can't get my nails done for another 2, 3. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, I don't have dependents, so I don't have to think of my kids gotta, I don't have kids yet, so I don't gotta think my kids gotta
eat,
have lunch money. It's just me. So it's like all I have to think of, okay, the extra money I have, I don't have to. I just won't eat out. I won't get my feet, like I won't get my hair done. I'll just think of it that way.
Now let me ask you this question, because you went to HBCU, even though it wasn't a long stay.
Don't say a long stay. I went for a whole year, guys.
Oh yeah.
I want to go back. She made it seem like it was just a semester. I went for a year, and I still graduated.
And she got yes, but anyway, in this bill and the human infrastructure bill, it was for HBCUs were supposed to get $45 billion. It was cut down to $2 billion, and now they're getting none.
I feel like I feel like that is really good. I'm trying to figure out. One reason I could say that is unfair is I haven't went to all white college, so I don't know, but for my job, I can see how much these schools do cost. And at some point, I was taking financial aid for Howard.
Mm-hmm.
Howard is an expensive school. I went to Prairie View. Prairie View is an expensive school. Honestly, when I was younger going to Prairie View, I didn't realize like my mom was paying for a lot out of pocket. Like they take parents being in the military, that just means
right,
y'all are making all types of money, and it doesn't. Now, like I knew all I got was loans when I was going, but now that I'm older and I realize like
they needed it. They were getting that much for like the dorms, because a lot of because Howard dorms are not
good. I could say our dorms weren't.
But you have to think, Prairie View is a sister school to Texas A&M, so they're going to keep that school up.
I was gonna say our dorm wasn't. I shared a dorm room with a roommate, but we had our own bathroom. Our dorm wasn't bad.
Right.
We had we were next to a small town, so if they cut the water off in the town, our water off was. That was the issue of you could wake up and the water be off, and then it's like, okay, well, I can't brush my teeth because that was that was situations. But I mean, there is little things I feel like with HBCUs. I still want to graduate.
They can't hire the teachers that they need. They
That I
can't do
really
the research and stuff. So I mean, for that part of it, I feel like it hits us.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I want to go. My dream is to graduate from HBCU. I want to go back. Now that I know what I know, I'm not taking out any loans ever again. Like, that is the biggest debt ever. But like, I honestly feel like I'll probably be paying off loans for the rest of my life.
Mm-hmm.
But I feel like that money that they could have received could have helped students, like in my instance, where in a way the government feel like parents in the military make so much. And I hear it all the time with my job. They're like, just because that's what I make doesn't mean that's what I have. Like, and it's honestly true. Like, I literally have to, and that's what I said, I wish I knew then what I know now. I mean, I think I got like 2 scholarships when I went, but like I said, you were paying for house. I mean, my dorm out of pocket. Pretty sure we bought all my books out of pocket. Think my meal plan was out of pocket. Like, and I'm only coming home maybe every other weekend for the holidays. So it's like most of my meals are ate there. And people don't think, like, some of us can't work and go to school.
Right.
Some of us can't do that. At that time, I did it when I moved to Austin, but at that time, and I don't see how, as a freshman, how some people are doing that. There are freshmen that are working to go to school to help their parents. And honestly, I feel like that money could have maybe helped. Really, there's no reason. I think we was paying like $700 a month for my dorm. No, I'm pretty sure it was that much, because I didn't stay in. I mean, our dorms weren't bad. It wasn't a.
But see, your HBCU is not as bad as some HBCUs. Like I said, it's a sister school too.
Like I visited Texas Southern.
Nice, huh?
I visited Texas Southern. I got accepted to Texas Southern.
Yeah.
We went and visited there, and we saw the dorms and the showers, and I was like, nope, I'm not going here. Yeah. And I mean, that may sound really bougie of me, but I know my mom. And I know, in a way, I know having a military parent, in some instance, bathroom situations of how bathrooms and stuff look, I couldn't picture myself if I did stay on post. Like, I had a friend that went to Texas Southern. On post. She did stay on campus, but the student housing, it was 1 room, 2 beds, 1 bathroom. At least my dorm room, it was 1 big room, but we had our different sides. Like, she couldn't. Once I go to my side, she don't know what I'm doing on my side. And same as like, we still had our own space. The shower was, we shared a bathroom, but it was we alternated, sharing the bathroom with 1 person and sharing the bathroom with 20 other females.
I remember going to Norfolk State, and the only reason why I know, because Norfolk State really needed some stuff done to it at that time, and this bill could have helped. It was me and my roommate Yogi, and we would have to grab all our stuff and walk down the hallway to the bathroom, and we shared. It was 2 bathrooms on each end of the hallway, and I think it was like, I don't know, maybe 30 females on 1 floor, and we had to share 2 bathrooms, showers. It was like, ugh.
And that's how Texas Southern, like, they told you to get shower shoes. Why do I need to get shower shoes from I just couldn't wrap my head that my mom's about to spend all this money, and y'all can't get, like, it literally in it. So I imagine it was what jail looked like. Honestly, it's how much HBCUs cost
That's why I said that infrastructure bill would have helped HBCUs. And I'm gonna segue from that now into Medicaid. You don't have to worry about Medicaid right now. But like your grandfather, I have Medicaid. Yes, y'all, I get Social Security.
She broken down, like I said.
And that was in there. So that's hindering us from, I'm not gonna say us, my father, the elderly, from getting the health, like with the Medicaid plan that he has, he only could get like they only cover a certain amount within a year, and it's like you have a bucket of money in it, and they have to take that bucket of money out
for like their pills and stuff like that.
Yes, and once it runs out, if you're using more and it runs out, then you pay out of pocket for the rest.
And some of those pills, and I used to do insurance. Some of that medication is
ridiculous, right?
$1,000 for
one pill.
30
pills in that last 30 days. It's ridiculous how much it costs. And so that was another part of the bill.
Do you feel like this bill, some of the stuff they did not pass is because due to COVID? Like I don't know.
No.
I'm not a
because that if the human infrastructure part of it, the human part of it would have helped the poor, Black and brown people. So why would they want to do anything to help us? Why? Right? I feel that they can go back to the table and get it. I believe they need to go back to the table and push it. Now we're going to go to this climate change.
I have no idea about climate.
Climate change is every day, right? We are in Texas, and after this year, that's climate change. When have you now? I don't remember, like in 2004. It
snowed there on East.
Like it didn't stick and do nothing. It's over one day, and that was it. This year we had
it stuck for that one day. I remember.
Did it stick? Yeah, we was used to going to church anyway. But this year it snowed in January and it stuck for a day or so, and then for a whole week.
See, I don't remember January because that snowstorm blew all that. The snowstorm was that little one day and having a snowstorm for a whole week. Okay, right. That is a climate change.
I mean, because we are in the southern part of the United States.
We're closest to the equator.
We're not supposed to be getting snowstorms, right? And then up north, they're having more heat. Heat days than winter days, right? And even just like in New York. Now, I was talking to your grandfather, and I was like, I don't never remember New York being flooded like it was this past year.
I was surprised of that. I didn't know that was a thing.
Climate change.
I didn't. Okay, so see, I don't have regular TV, so I don't watch the news. And it what did they say? Ignorant is a bliss. I don't watch the news because at some point, to me, I have a grandfather that watches the news all day and is going to tell you about everything negative in the news. And I feel like the news can be depressing, like especially.
But listen, when it comes to climate change, you have to think we're not going to be here. God forbid we'll be here a little bit longer, but y'all will see the effects of climate change, and we will, because the earth is slowly dying off. Like the biggest rainforest. What was it caught on fire? That's 92% of the world's oxygen comes from this rainforest. So
but replenish it, I think is just.
But listen, that's why they want to do away with they want electric cars. The fuel, the emissions that's in the cars, because it's messing up the air, and we're gonna, and like I be watching, you know how we used to watch some of those futuristic movies like Matrix or was it Total Recall, where they have like they're fighting to stay alive, like the 100. You seen that the movie?
I started stuff like that start stressing me out, and I can't.
So like that, like the Earth, we've done so much damage to the Earth that we're killing to survive because we don't have enough oxygen. We don't have enough. The radiation is off the charts. Excuse me. You can't drink the water because it's too polluted. I was watching
boiling water. I think we still in a boil water notice.
No, y'all are lifted.
I don't think so. Last one.
It's lifted because they got the chlorine out. I was looking at that the other day. I was like, finally. And that's sad that we have to boil water in order to drink it or use it for anything. You have to boil water. Like, you can't give dogs water out the faucet because of, the pollution that's in water. We are doing this. And that's how the climate is going to change. That's how your children's children will be affected by the change in the climate and how it's going to have affect them in growth, in reproduction, what else? Other things that's going, things that is. Look at the wildfires that we have had for the past 2 years in California. They're getting worse and worse and worse. Hey, the hurricanes are coming rapidly, one after the other, and it's like we went from Alpha to Omega in a whole hurricane season. Patricia and
we went to.
I said Alpha through Omega. They named hurricanes. So that's what I like. What do you think about climate change now that you know what it is?
I mean, I know what climate change is, but like I said, I don't listen to a lot of news because it's so depressing and sad, and that can really just make you think the world is in, and especially since COVID started and everything that was going on with George Floyd and all that, I couldn't take it. Mentally, that was just a lot.
That's what I wanted to ask you about. Go ahead, but I'll let you finish with that.
But honestly, I don't know. Okay, we can do. They say the electric cars and all that, but stuff like that, people in our tax or mine, your tax bracket is a little higher than mine, but people in
let's not even talk about.
We can't afford it. Like an electric car, honestly and truly, them cars are a lot. You can't want us to switch over to certain things, and when gas prices are almost $3, or are $3, electric cars are.
Electricity is high.
It's high. Like, I feel like it's certain things. Like I said, I didn't think, I make do with what I get paid and all that. I didn't realize, as they would say in terms, I'm living at the poverty line until I called about my student loans to figure out what I could do. And the guy was like, yeah, you're basically at what they would consider a poverty line. That's news to me. That's
because realistically, that's why the t-shirt I have on, I went to this march and they were talking about that. People nowadays are in poverty and don't even know they're in poverty. Like, you didn't know, right? So, but luckily you don't have a husband or a child to take care of. And
if I had a husband, this would be a split 50-50 thing.
No, I'm just saying we don't have.
And that's a scary.
And you don't have a child to take care of. You're not a single parent. You don't have that. So you don't have that added bill. Whereas a lot of young people
do.
There's another thing, because a lot of y'all millennials and Generation Z's they be like, they ain't trying to have kids right now, or
because we realize you are a single parent. Yes, My dad is in my life. But in all aspects, still, you were a single parent. I grew up with you. You had me young. So in some instances, and then you have my sister 7 years after me. So in some instances, I was old enough and grew up and had to grow up to, and I realized my mom is busting her butt to take care of 2 girls that, my sister had medical issues. I luckily grew out of my medical issues, but I was old enough to realize, like, my mom is 20 something, 2 kids, and you handle it very well, but a lot of our millennials seen our parents in a sense struggle.
Right.
In a sense, a lot of our parents had us a lot of my friends, I could say my friends, our parents had maybe 2-3 kids before us, or had kids before us, or had us at a young age, and
right.
We seen the struggle. We grew up with our parents. We seen, and so now we're waiting because we realize in our 20s, in this day and age, we not ready for it. We don't want to admit to, like, we could do it. We know, like, I get asked, you're almost 28, you don't have any kids. If I would have had a kid, I would have made sure, figured it out.
Mm-mm.
But one, my goal was I want to make it past what my mom had me at.
Oh, I had you at 20. So
but you know what I'm saying? I didn't want, but people in our family got pregnant in high school. So, I mean, when I graduated, y'all said, we got you out of high school without getting pregnant. You know what I'm saying? That was a thing in our family. It happens in, I can't speak for other communities, but in the Black community, it happened.
It does.
And that was a goal of mine. I don't want to get pregnant in high school. I want to not be 19, getting pregnant at 19, having my child at 20. My mom did it. My mom was in college when she, like, I knew this aspect of, this is not what I wanted. My mom, yes, she took care of me and my sister very well, but I still know the stress and what you had to go through. And as we grow up as women, I could say as women, we start, instead of just seeing y'all as our mothers, we now understand you as a woman. You're not just my mom. Like, now I know my mom and I know Yomi. Like, I can understand what you've been through, because some stuff I've been through. I can understand, okay, my mom was being a mother, but still going through stuff mentally, working, having to come, like, we joke about it all the time. I don't have any kids, but I remember we used to take this out the freezer, and I'm just like, okay, and don't take it out, and then you come home at 5:00, and I forgot all about what you told me to take out the freezer, and now it's like, now I gotta wait, and now that I'm older, I get off at 5, and I'm like, I didn't take nothing out to cook. Whoop. Like, it's now we realize, you know what? I get what my parent was going through. I get the question of, why don't you have kids yet? Why? I probably could have had a kid, but I honestly knew mentally I could not handle the stress of all the bills I have to pay, making sure if something did happen to you, I had to take off, but then I also have to make sure my child eats, make sure my child, kids are expensive. I don't have kids, but I have friends that have kids, and hearing them talk about how diapers about $30 a box, I'm thinking $30 a box, that's gas. So then that's gas, $30 a box. They could, like, you do the math, and a lot of kids my age are now like, why would I want kids, but I'm not doing it, because why would I, in this day and age, you honestly can't.
And you're right, and I think that to the infrastructure bill. having afford a livable wage. You can't do anything off of $8.25 an hour. What is it? $7.75 an hour.
Some people $7.25, but it's barely
$7.25 an hour. You cannot raise a family. I mean, unless you're working 90 hours a week. Making $7.25. Let me do this math real quick because I'm about to tell you now.
You honestly can't make it.
If you work,
thinking of just
times 40 hours,
it's 80 hours per paycheck.
That's $580. Who can live off of that? Your rent not no $400 unless you want HUD.
And that's another thing. Like
that.
I know, and I hate it. I remember a couple of years ago, I was working at my current job, and it was an older lady, and not my current job. It was an older lady when I first moved back from Austin, and she asked me, was I married? I said no. She asked, I was like, I live by myself. I pay my bills and stuff. And then she asked one, well, why aren't you married? And I'm like, I'm not in a rush to get married. Like, that's not I have to get married right now. And then she asked, well, do you have any kids? And I'm like, no. And she said, well, what are you waiting for? You're not getting younger. And I said, there's not an age on.
Honey, there's people 50 years old women have
when I can have kids. But then she asked, and this is one thing that really, and it's not just me, it's a lot of millennials I know that have parents like you. Like I say, a lot of people tell me, like, if you need it, your mom got you. I know that, but I also, because of how you raised me, it bothers me sometimes that if I have to turn to you, because I'm like, I shouldn't have to turn. My mom was doing this, shouldn't have to turn to her. Like, it bothers me. Sometimes I don't ask. Sometimes I don't say anything. Sometimes I'll be in here stressed out my mind. But somebody told, the lady was like, I was like, I pay my own bills. I'm working. I just moved back from Austin, such and such. And I was like, my mom was sick, so I moved back and I ended up staying or whatever. And somehow we got on you, and I was like, well, my mom, she helps if I need it. And the lady literally said, well, so basically your mom takes care of you. And I was like, no. And
sorry, y'all, my computer was falling.
That bothered me as a thing, because I'm like, if you think about it, like I said, you retired from the military. You work. And I tell people, I said, honestly, I think my mom works because she doesn't like being bored. That's my mom. She doesn't like sitting still. I said, if my mom really wanted to, she probably could not work. Honestly, I said, but in the instance of, I know people that I'm paying, 12 something in rent. There's people that are paying more than me. We making about the same, and they have somebody else in the house, and they're struggling.
That's where I feel like the millennials, with y'all and this other generation, Jarrell's generation. I don't know. When is the millennials end and when they begin? Who knows?
I think we end in like 98. I don't know. Her generation kind of weird to me, but
yeah, they on some other stuff. But y'all have that, and we were talking. Who was I talking? I think I was talking to Mr. Zella. I don't know. We were talking about that. Excuse me. Y'all would rather, like, you have your business. Kaslana has her little business, not little business, but her business, and y'all like go get it. Y'all promote y'all stuff. Y'all do this. Y'all do that. And I'm like, we wasn't thinking about that at your age, right? Just like I was listening to a young lady this day's just Tuesday. Was it Monday? Yesterday. No, that's a lie. Friday.
Jesus, it's only Tuesday.
Right. It's Friday, and that's what made me start thinking about climate change, because she's a very loud activist about climate change.
Mm.
And she is 18. So I think she runs in Jarrell's Generation Z. Is that them?
And some of younger, I think about like, man, I wasn't like, honestly, I started my business 2 years ago. I mean, I always told you like I wanted to be my own boss, but I never was like what I actually. But it's like I wish I would have started it when I was in high school. There's literally girls that are starting businesses at 16. Like, I wasn't thinking about that. But that's a smart. They're preparing.
Right, they're preparing themselves, because a lot of the millennials and Generation Zs, is they don't want to work for nobody else. They don't want to, like.
And COVID, I think COVID opened our eyes.
Jarrell loves working with animals, right? And she wants to be a veterinarian. But Jarrell said, I don't want to work for somebody else. I said, okay, so you could be one of those traveling veterinarians. You make your own schedule. You don't have an office unless you have to do a surgery or something like that. And she was like, yeah, she doesn't. I mean, and that's a good thing, because she knows what she wants. It's just they are more like, I'm not going. The man is not. And this is what I was trying to tell. I was trying to tell your grandfather this about the millennials and Generation Z. I couldn't be where my father and them grew up in the 40s and 50s and stuff, because there was still segregation and stuff going on. Mm-hmm. I know I couldn't live in that.
I couldn't either.
And I know your generation and the Generation Z, dang on sure, cannot live in that.
I think we are more,
like telling them. I said, like, with this whole, and I'm gonna get back to the whole climate, because it brought me to her too, because she was like, my generation, we're not going to be quiet, right?
We're not.
And we're not going to let you just tell us anything. And I was like, that I wish that our generation had that. But I think each generation grows up
and saying, we teach the next generation.
All this black, white, purple, green. It's a lot of the older people, not just white people. Because let me tell you something. My uncle,
I think anyway, I need something.
Y'all don't care in color, right? Y'all don't care about black, white, blue, green. And like Joseph, your uncle, well, no, we was at the store, and I thought they were like coveralls and plaid shirts, but they was listening to who was the boy? What is that song? It was a Nas song. I can't think of it. I knew it was Nas, and then they get out the car, and I'm like, I'm confused. Like, what? You know what I'm saying? Y'all, this generation is, they about, because she was like, she just want what's best for the planet and what's best for her generation, because they have to live in it, and then the generation after them. So everything that's going on today, it will affect y'all 20 years from now.
And like you said, like, you couldn't live in granddad's time and age. But in that same instance, honestly and truly, I could say I graduated high school almost 10 years ago. I could not be.
Not even 10 years next year, Jesus.
Yes.
Lord, I'm old.
I'm going to cry. I feel old. But I graduated.
Hold on, y'all. My daughter be out of school 10 years next year. Oh, wait, pause. I just.
How do you think I feel? But we realized I couldn't be in high school now.
Oh, no.
I couldn't be in high school now. Like, in high school, we had social media, but it wasn't
too much.
As much. Yeah. It wasn't as much. Like, I had a cell phone, but honestly, we text more than things getting posted. Like, it didn't really pop off until my senior year. But what I could say is, in my generation, one thing we are big on right now is mental health.
Yes, y'all are.
And we are big on, I can't say like older generations, y'all protested, y'all, but now it's like our generation, we are demanding. Like it's no more we're protesting to no, it's not a we gonna protest until you decide. No, we're demanding the respect. Like we're putting everything on Front Street. Where you want to be racist, you're getting posted. We're like now you're gonna feel you're gonna lose your job. Like now it's we are demanding the respect, and we also are demanding the change. Now
climate change, the people out there to vote. Y'all don't be wanting to vote now. Y'all don't want to vote.
And
change, you gotta put the people in office to vote.
We can say, okay, you gotta vote. But in the same instance, Mom, our generation has realized y'all have been saying vote for years and years and years. Honestly, our government system is corrupt. It's corrupt. It's no matter if you say vote, vote, vote. Yes, voting is good. I believe in voting.
You know, people died for your right to vote.
What's that?
People died for your right to vote.
And they did. And voting is correct. But what I'm saying is, it's no matter. We can vote for somebody to be about us, say what they're going to do. How corrupt our government system is doesn't mean that is going to change. Honestly, and there's a lot of millennials that feel this way. If you
and that's where that's why to come on, because of
it needs to be
millennials are saying that, because y'all are our next leaders. It is not my generation; it's your generation.
But like you said, we talk about
they have to come up and be a governor, a senator.
But you said like the Supreme Court.
Oh, what?
The Supreme Court. You told me they in there for life.
Yes. Which I think
that should not be a thing. That should not be a thing.
And you know what? But see, this is only way you get change is if you voice your opinion, voice your stance, and get people to back that, right? I don't believe the Supreme Court should be for life. However, I don't believe they should have a time span as 4 years, because too many laws come in and out.
Yeah, but it shouldn't be
20. You could stay for 20 like you do for everything else and retire.
You got voted in when you was 20 and you dying at 80.
Right.
Because in that same instance, not saying there is, but there could be some racist people in there. Don't mean just because times have changed, your mindset has changed.
Right.
And that's where
we are always evolving. We are always evolving.
As millennials, a lot of us are feeling that, okay, you guys are telling us to vote. And honestly, I've got to the point where, like, what are we voting for? Because we can vote, and it's like nothing is changed. Biden, he's trying, but it's so quick. That Asian law got passed so quickly. During COVID, how many black men were killed? How many unarmed black men have been killed, period?
A lot. But
we can't get
let me tell y'all something, because then we're going to get off of here. You cannot worry about the top. You see what I'm saying? That's what I keep telling y'all. The president should be your last resort. You should worry about your mayors. That's your local. Your city councilman. That's your local. That's your city. And that's going to cover your city. You live in Killeen, find out who your councilmen are.
It just need to be broken down from the top down.
Your councilman, your mayor, your police chief, your DAs, that's all local. Then you go to your House of Representatives, your Senate. Your governor, then your House of Representatives, your Senate, and then the president. Y'all try to worry about the top too much. Worry about that low stuff. No,
but we're not even saying
in your city. Like right now, there was a thing. I live in Hawker Heights right now. A thing in it was an amendment to a bill in Killeen that they was just voted on on the 2nd. So if you don't know, if you're not going to the city council things, and you're not getting,
Didn't know
if
nothing
you
about
don't know what's going on in your city, how your voice can change, or get a group of people, a group of millennials or your friends, and go to these council meetings and see what's going on and what they're trying to pass, and y'all voice.
it. But in the same instance, I'm pretty sure a lot of us don't know what's going on. We don't.
Because y'all don't, a lot of y'all don't want to go and try to find out. That's why I be trying to tell you and your sister, you have to know. You have to know what's going on in your city. You have to know, like, Harker Heights is a Republican city. Colleen is a Democrat city. Carpers Cove is a Republican city. Nolanville is a Democrat city, right? So you know around you where you are, and then you go into these council meetings and try to figure out what's going on. Like, what is the Section 8.9 something amendment to this bill? What is that? What is it going to affect? How is it going to affect us here in the city? If you know your city stuff, then you go to your mayor and be like, hey.
But then also, I feel like some stuff we honestly weren't taught in school.
Amen. Well,
we weren't
about that. We're going to talk about that a little next week. I'm about to get off here live because we've been on here a whole hour. Brittany, I thank you so much for coming on.
You're welcome.
Thank you so much. I appreciate it. It was a good talking to you. We're going to cover this. We're going to cover a lot more next week, so prepare yourself. Thank you so much for joining me again. Like and share. Let's Grow with Yo-Yo on Facebook and YouTube. Yo-Yo 7393001 on Instagram. If you want to shop for your beautiful lashes.
Mm-hmm. Where you get 001 from?
What?
Where you get 0?
I don't know. It just, that's what came up. Your lashes, your purses, your shades, all that stuff. Shop at Eye Candy Love, LOVEE by B.com. Don't forget to check out Danny Direct on Thursday nights on Facebook and YouTube. I appreciate you all for coming in and looking and checking us out. I hope you all have a great and prosperous night. Good night, Brittany. Love you.
Love you too.
Bye.